guess I made the decision to to look outward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm a contractor, right? I started with a tool belt.
Yeah.
I sold some jobs just because I had to do that, right? Now I'm your typical story of a contractor, put the tool belt on, worked out of a van, and grew a business, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm operating a real business.
Yeah.
Like I said, I made a decision to charge what I'm worth.
Right.
Make
Make
some real
what
money.
you're worth. Right.
Make a real business. Yeah, make a real business out of it.
Worth.
Something that can support me and my family and my future.
This is the Wealthy Contractor Podcast, brought to you by G4 Marketing. Interviews with today's top home improvement entrepreneurs about marketing, sales, money, mindset, and lifestyle. Now, here's your host, Brian Kaskavalsian.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. This is Brian Kaskavalsian with G4 Marketing Group. And today I have got John Kolbaska from the Men with Tools. And you're out of New York. And so John sent me an email a couple weeks ago that I thought was really awesome. Just basically letting me know of all of the stuff that he's implemented in his business over the last 2 or 3 years. And I immediately fired off an email and said, hey, we got to get him on the podcast because this could be valuable for the listeners. And usually we do pre-call and we have a conversation, but John started talking and I told him to stop because I know there was really good stuff that was going to come out. So John, welcome. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I cut you off early, but I wanted to make sure the listeners heard your whole story.
Nice to be with you, Brian.
Yeah. To everybody out there, or new people, if you haven't got a copy yet of my book, The 7 Secrets to Becoming a Wealthy Contractor, you can get a free copy. Just go to thewealthycontractor.com. I just ask you to pay a small delivery fee. And I send you a physical copy of the book, The 7 Secrets to Becoming a Wealthy Contractor. You can get that at thewealthycontractor.com. So, John, with all that out of the way, so let's start with background. And John asked me, do you want me to tell the long version, the whole version, or the short version? I told him, you tell the version that you think is the best version. So usually I say, give us the 60-second overview, but I don't know. Give us your story. It's a good one.
I've followed enough of these podcasts to know you usually ask for 60 seconds. So I was kind of thinking beforehand, oh, wow, how could I fit that all in? But I think it's valuable if I tell you the full story. Third generation carpenter, born and raised here in New York City. So my grandfather started in his business. Oh, wow. Told my father the business. Yep. And I started working with my father at a young age. In the in the summers, I just seemed to be attracted to the work itself. And I think I was 13 years old. I started working with, I think it was like $30 a day cash. It was a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
And then working in the summers with him. And then I remember him telling me, this isn't a good business. You need to go to school. This isn't going to be around much longer. Little did he know, he was wrong. So I started my first business in 2007, and I acquired a contract with a national retailer. I was doing flooring, and I became the largest flooring installation partner in that program out of, I think it was about 450 contractors.
Wow.
In the United States. Yeah. So I grew that to a pretty large size business. I had close to 100 employees at the time, but I wasn't making any money. I was doing a lot of work, a lot of what you say, a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, no money. I was paying myself a salary, but there was really nothing left over at the end of the year. I sold that business in 2014. I was lucky enough to sell it. Maybe we could speak about, that whole process with the multipliers and how they value the business. And I was shocked when I went through that. But anyway, I sold the business. And after being at home for about 2 weeks, me and my wife, we looked at each other and she looked at me and she says, you got to go back to work. And I said, funny. Yeah. And I had this corporation sitting on the shelf there. And I just, I was doing flooring with the previous company. and my background's really windows, doors, and flooring. Says, you know what? I walked into Lowe's and Home Depot. This was about 2014. And I walked into the offices there, the install offices, and I said, hey, you guys looking for a window and door installer? And they were like, yeah, if you have this and that. And they put me in touch. And like 3 weeks later, I was opened this company. I was installing for Lowe's and Home Depot.
Wow.
But quickly realized 3 to 6 months later that, wow, I'm still not making any money.
Yeah.
And then started looking around on the internet and, reading some books and some podcasts. Came across you guys and attended the first Accelerate event there, and I think it was 2019, and it was just eye-opening. You talked about profits, and I think you actually briefly wanted to speak to you about the Profit First book and stuff like that. But you put all of that stuff about your vehicle, your business being a vehicle to deliver you all the profits and freedoms that you need, and it was just overwhelming. And I left that event. I went home. I raised my prices significantly.
Good.
Probably doubled them. Met John Anglis, developed a sales system. Actually paid him to help me with the sales system. Put a whole customer experience in place. And 2018, I think I did less than 600,000 in revenue. 2019, I went up to 1.2. 2020, I did 2.9, and this year I'm on track to do about 4.9.
Wow. Good for you. Yeah. And of course, now you're making money, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 15 to 20% net. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there was no net.
Before there was no net. Yeah.
No
When you sold the flooring company, did you make any money on that deal? At least, did you make money selling it?
Yeah. What I did there was, we went through a valuation, a business evaluation. I had to pay. And what they do is they look at your financials and they basically look at what you're making at the end of the year. And for me, I paid myself a salary.
Yeah.
So, but there was no profit left over, right? So there was a salary. There's nothing left over at the end.
Yeah.
So they took the salary and they put a multiplier. It was really just a 1. I was blown away by it because it wasn't really worth much.
Right.
And now knowing what I know today, I realized that I was lucky to even get that for it.
Yeah. So that was 2014. You started back in the window business in 15.
14, 15, yeah, late 14, early 2015.
So between 15, 16, 17, and then up into 18, you went from zero basically up to about 600,000.
600, yeah. Just doing mostly installs for Lowe's.
Yeah, so you were doing mostly installs for them.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't doing stuff for yourself.
No, not at all.
So you basically started a whole new business then in 2019 because you had to go out and market, didn't you?
Yep.
To get leads.
So I opened my showroom here in Staten Island in 2017, May 7th, 2017.
Okay.
But still, it was just a showroom. I probably built up enough of a client base installing for Lowe's and Home Depot that I had people contacting me, and then from there I could I was starting to do some repeat referral work and opened up on a major street where I would get about 25,000 cars a day. So that was really the start of it, but I didn't really know what I know now.
Yeah.
I'll open this showroom and I'll do a little advertising. And
so you mentioned a couple things about you became aware of profit and what profit really is. So that's awesome. I love to hear that. Because they don't talk to us about that. Especially in this industry, it's all driven by sales. Well, what'd you sell? I don't care anymore. I want to know what you made. So that was a big shift that you made. You looked at your pricing. I'm just trying to unpack the things that you said. You went and got a professional sales presentation that could be duplicated.
Yep.
And so that was all like first quarter of 2019. You did all of that? Wow.
That was 3 weeks after Accelerate 2019.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's amazing.
I realized I had so much work to do.
But you went and did it. So where did you even start?
I started on the pricing. That was the first thing that I knew I needed to change.
Yeah.
So I went from selling on average of $500 to $600 replacement window to over $1,200 retail. I mean,
Right.
obviously have some drops and stuff like that. So I doubled the price.
Yeah.
I mean, I make it now, like I said, I'm making real money. Then I got with John. So I
Okay.
realized if I was going to sell an expensive window, I needed to know how to sell it.
Right.
So, you know, $1,000 window, $1,200 window, tell a $2,400 story.
Right. Exactly.
And we do that now. And I have sales reps that work with me. I use John's system. I tweaked it a little bit, but mostly use most of it.
Yeah.
And like I say, you know, I've taught 4 people that work with me now, plus myself, how to really sell a $1,200 window, where I can't believe that I struggled to sell a $600 window before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you first implemented a new selling system, was it just you?
It was just me. Yeah.
Was
I
just-
needed to learn how to do it first. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how did you tell us about the first couple people that you brought in? What was that like?
Well, I was actually pretty fortunate. The first person I brought in was we worked with a Power Home Remodeling Group
Okay.
here locally, and he was a field marketing manager. So he had some experience, more marketing experience door to door, but he was a natural born salesperson.
Yeah.
And I knew him from the industry, and we were friends. And I said to him, I said, I think you can do this in-home sales thing. And he agreed. And he was my first one. I put him through the whole process and put him out there after about 3 weeks of training and riding along with me. And I think he sold his first 4 deals. Yeah.
Wow.
He's my best salesperson still to this day. He's
Today.
phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, so it worked out for you. How important was it? So, we talk about people, process, and profit. So you just talked about, obviously profitability first, making sure you got the right amount for the window. And then obviously you need a process for selling, and you did that. And then people, and usually the people part is pretty tough. I mean, the process part is, it's all tough, but you kind of got, I hate to use the word, let's just say you did good on your first go around with hiring somebody. Did you have any mishires in that time?
So I've hired a few people. Before I had attended Accelerate, I hired a salesperson from the industry that had sales. Prior to Accelerate 2019, I was kind of, feeling around. And that was a mishire, but I've actually been, believe it or not, I've been pretty fortunate. I go by the saying all the time, what's that? Slow to hire, fast to fire.
Yeah.
So I'm really particular. I really put my candidates through a whirlwind of an interview. So it's a phone interview. Then it's hey, call me back. I want to see interest. Invite them down to the showroom 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty good gauge of character, especially when it comes to install, because my background is installation, believe it or not, and sales.
Yeah.
So I can pretty accurately gauge whether a person's going to be a good salesperson or a good installer. It's the other stuff that I'm now getting to now that I'm struggling a bit with, like the marketing side. And I just hired my digital marketing manager. Again, I was lucky with that, but we're hiring a content creator, and that's been a little tough. And now I'm hiring I just hired a call center manager with the help of another consultant, and I've been pretty good there. But it's tough. People's tough. So,
you use the word that I was almost going to use, but I don't like it. Lucky. Yeah, I don't like that word. I think that how important was it that when somebody came in and looked at your business, that you were able to tell a story about, hey, we sell windows at a higher price, but we're better value. We have a system for selling this. And if you follow the system, then you're going to make what, 6 figures, right?
Well, I show them the numbers.
Right.
I break it down. I say, look, 10 to 15 leads a week. If you close at 30%, which is the bare minimum, my system should be able to get you this, if you follow the system, you should be able to get 40, 50% here based at these numbers. Look at your average commission, look at what you can sell. And they see it on paper, and the ones who get excited are the ones I hire.
Right.
Yeah.
So
ones that don't get excited, they can go to my competitor.
Yeah. So the reason I brought up the luck thing is that that's not really has anything to do with luck. That has entirely to do with we're setting up a system where we're going to attract A players, where somebody that's a great employee, a great
Mhm.
employee, not a mediocre one, not a good one, a decent one, a great employee or a prospective employee is going to be checking you out, right? As much as we are checking them out. And so when they come in and they see that you've got a showroom and you've got your crap together and you have a system, I would think that that helps to them to self-select and self-deselect, right? So you
Sure.
said the people that get excited about that are the people that understand. Those are the great people. They get it. They understand, oh, hey, there's a system here. If I follow it and I take my talent and I put it into this system, I can do well. Um, and that's the thing, it's think about it. So like before, and we were the same way, by the way. So before, it was in our company, it was just me and Addie that were selling. And we had, I don't know, we tried to hire 3 or 4 salespeople, and we just could not teach them to do it the same way we did it. Right. Just like you can't teach somebody to sell the way you do. I could run with you for 2 months and I'm not going to be able to be John Kolbaska out in the field. Right. But
No,
then when you have that system,
of
right.
course.
So that's really cool. So
Brian,
that was
I'm creating a real business, right?
right.
So I think when people see that on the outside,
Right.
potential employees, they look at the business, and we do a lot of advertising on Facebook, social media, do a lot of video. So it's funny, like I walk around the local area now, and I'm getting looks from people, and I'm almost like, hey, and I realize, oh wow, I'm actually creating a brand wrapped around myself, so people are recognizing me,
They're
right? So
recognizing you. That's
they're
cool.
recognizing me. So, around the business, also around recruiting too. So we're starting to do a lot of that. So people are really starting to realize that we're a pretty good company to come work for.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
awesome.
helped. Yeah, we're growing up. We
That's
went
good
from
for you.
a little business on a corner to what we have today.
Let's stop here and take a quick break. The jobs that your crews completed this week, did you turn those customers into raving fans of your company? Have they left you a 5-star review and sent you referrals? Are they going to be repeat customers of yours? And will they keep producing profits for you for years to come? If you can't answer each of those questions with a big yes, then you are missing out on an enormous growth opportunity for your business. But it's okay. I have a solution for you. For over 12 years now, G4 Marketing Group has been the secret back office relationship marketing team for hundreds of home improvement and home service businesses just like yours. You get the customer, and our proven system turns that customer into 5-star reviews and profitable repeat and referral business. If your home improvement or home services company completes at least 10 jobs per month, we have a solution that'll work for you. To find out more, sign up for your free, no obligation, 10-minute discovery call at www.g4marketing.com/strategy. That's GFOUR marketing.com/strategy. Set up your discovery call today, and we will help you set your business up for long-term profits and success. Now back to the episode. Well, you said a real business. Tell us a little bit more about what you mean by having a real business.
Well, a real business, like I said, it started with the profit and the systems that we have in place, and we just continue to grow. I have a plan, right? I have a plan to grow beyond this showroom. That's pretty exciting things that I'm not really going to share right now.
Okay.
But there's plans to expand into new markets, and it's all in place right now. I'm just looking for the people. I've got the cash behind me to do it now that I have the profits.
Yep.
And I just need the people. That's all. Yeah. That's
what
all
does
I
it
need.
mean? What does that mean for you, though? What does it mean for you? Given your background, and you've worked. I mean, it's obvious you could sell. It's obvious you can build a company, but now you're starting to make real money. I mean, and you've got this wow, now I could really have a vision for the future. I mean, what does that mean for you and your
Was that?
family?
Yeah, well, it's something that, that my goal is to create something that I can leave to my children. I have three children, so one or all of them. I talk to them all the time about it. Hey, Daddy's creating this big thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be 20, 50, $100 million at some point. I'm going to hand this off to you guys, one of you or all of you. My 13-year-old, she's interested. She wants to get in a call center this summer.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
she wants to make some calls. Yeah, she's interested. So you hear stories about people who are in this industry, big players that have been in the business, and it's been in the family, and they grow these large businesses. So it's the first step. I'm starting this thing, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself. I'm making some real money now.
Good.
Enjoying the financial freedom that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pass it off to my kids one day. I'm not going to be the guy that sells out to private equity. This is for my kids. No, I don't think so. Unless it's overwhelming.
Right.
I'm hearing a lot of those stories lately, but
there's a lot of it going on right now.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, this industry, right?
Yeah, it really is amazing. Yeah, I just got over the weekend. I just heard from from someone in the industry, and they're getting acquired, and it's happening quite a bit. Yeah. Never say never, though, my friend. Never say never. You might be able to set your kids up in something else. You never know.
Well, it's like you said. This business is a vehicle, right? Yeah. And it can be an awesome vehicle.
Yeah.
And this vehicle's getting better every day.
And the more you grow, and the more you have the fundamentals in place. So I love that you put the fundamentals in place before your business got to where it's at today. Imagine you're at $5 million. You got all these, marginal people that aren't good. You're barely making any money, and you try and make all of these changes. It's really tough. But if you start off that way with a good foundation, the things that you can do. I mean, look at your growth. That's really pretty amazing.
Talk about like those ceilings, right? That 0 to $1 million, right?
Right.
That's where most construction companies stay.
Yep.
And then to get to that $2 million ceiling, that's tough to break through, right? And every time you break through those ceilings, you have to kind of recreate the business and put new systems into place. What I found that I took it a little slower in the first year or two. I did go back and put those things in place, but I put these $5-10 million systems into place right off the beginning.
Yeah.
So that the growth that I'm experiencing now is actually it's been planned for. So
that's awesome.
It's when I talk to other people that have done this before, I hear some stories, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to use the word lucky, but it hasn't been my experience. So we'll see. It's the biggest issue is people, right? Learning how to recruit and hire and retain the right people. So. Right. I see how important that is. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the stuff that you're doing is you're giving people, look, people want to go and work at a place where they can win, right? Where they can provide for their families, where they don't have to lose sleep at night, knowing if I go to work tomorrow and I do my best, if I do what I'm good at, I don't have to worry about the company going away and my family not having the things that they need. So that's awesome. Good for you.
I'm excited. I mean, they realize when I talk to them, I talk to them about how important it is, the customer relationships, the wow experience. I show them what we do. And of course, we use your program there for after the install, but what we do from the front end all the way to the back end, and we show them, how well we treat a customer. Yeah. They start out, they go online, they research us, they see over 130 5-star Google reviews. Nobody's saying anything negative about us. I think I even shared a screenshot with you from Facebook where someone in the local parents group asked just a random question. Hey, do you know anybody that does windows and doors in my market here? And I think they're out of the 50 responses, 25 or 30 people recommended me.
Wow.
Yeah. And the men with tools, and that's genuine. And I see that all the time. I see that a couple of times a week just popping up there, and it's unsolicited. And it just makes me feel really good. I really enjoy the relationships that I'm making with my customers, right? Like you talked about, I've heard you say in the past, the recession-proof business has its customers, right? You have these relationships, long-term relationships. I consider every one of my customers a valuable relationship, a friend, a family member.
Yeah.
And we really do mean that, right?
Yeah.
We really do. Like for example, like we do all of those things like before the appointment, we send out the email with the salesperson's photo. We do all of that, marketing and stuff on the front end. My installers show up to the job site on the day of the install.
So we had a little technical glitch there, and we caught John right in the middle as he was talking about the installers showing up, bringing your customers breakfast, wowing them at that point, which, as you know very well, that is one point in the process that could really mess up everything, right? How do you, that actually leads me to a question in that, okay, we talked about how you bring in people into the business, give them somewhere that they can win and all of that, but people are having a lot of issues with installers. And not only getting them, but getting ones that are willing to do the whole customer experience. And how do you bring them on and show them that, hey, this is the way that we do things here. This is what's acceptable. This is not what's acceptable. How are you doing that there?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have what's called the thermal break installation 60 system, again, modeled after Ari's roofing from the first Accelerate. So I mean, it's a 60-point installation process. We break it down. That part of even bringing the customer coffee and donuts, it's in there. So I show them from day one. Equally as important as hiring for skill, you got to have the right attitude, right? So I'm asking them things during the interview process to make sure that they're a good fit for my company. So if they have the personality, the fit, I'll hire them, right? Along with the skill. Yeah. If they don't have the personality, I'll just send them off to one of my competitors. So
anything there that you want to share? Anything like, just give us a couple little pieces of your secret sauce there. Like, what do you ask them? What do you want to know? What helps you determine if they're going to be good or not?
Well, I mean, you'll ask them questions like, tell me about, a situation where you've run into an issue with a customer and tell me how you solved it. You learn a lot by just asking questions like that and just really just diving deep into that, right? You want to just see what their personality is like, see how they handle conflict, because you do have some guys in this business that don't handle that very well.
No.
And it's just a lot about, like I said, really discovering how they handle conflict and their personality. You can generally tell when you're sitting down with somebody, they're dressed nice, they're pleasant, you ask these questions. I mean, you'll be surprised. Some of the best installers in the world in this business have no personality. I've actually seen some of the best skilled installers in this business that get more complaints than the guys that know half of what they do. Right. That are just friendly with the customers. So they're both equally as important. So, I just sit down with them. I show them the system. This is what we do. What do you think about it? How do you handle problems? How do you handle conflict? How do you, what type of resolutions? And we just go from there. And like I said, I'm not going to use the word lucky anymore during this podcast. But I've been able to identify who I'd really want out there as the face of my company.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. It's interesting that you bring up conflict and how they deal with conflict. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Put them into some sort of situation where that's going to come out and see how they deal with it. Do you do disc profiling on your people?
I do. Yeah. So through one of the I think it's a Yoho.
Yeah.
App, the disc profile. Yeah, I use them just as a gauge. And after the initial phone interview, I invite them in. I give them a disc profile. Yeah. It's good. It helps.
It helps. It's not perfect. You can't hire someone based on it, but it is one of the tools that you use.
It's a good tool. If you don't have the right personality as an installer and you're selling a $1,200 window, you're going to hear I paid a lot of money for these windows. Right. So it's really having the right personality to be able to handle a customer. And again, even before it would get to that point, right? So it's being able to just go in and talk to the customer, introduce yourself, let them know if there's anything that you need. I'm here for you. Introduce the crew. We don't do a red carpet experience. We do a white carpet experience. We lay out, well, it's not really white carpets. It's canvas cloths everywhere, but we make a show of it, right? Yeah. We cover everything. All the furniture, we move the furniture out of the way. outside, inside, and you come, if you show up to one of my jobs, you look at what's going on over there. The house looks like it's like
That's
a
the
show on
best.
ET or
Oh,
something.
that's the best.
Yeah. So we put a
And
show
so
on.
every one of these things is listed out, right? It's part of that 60 point. And so, what's really interesting about that is when it comes to process and coming up with those processes. So we talk about, what should the owner be working on? Should the owner be out there running leads? No. Why? Because it's a one-time thing. You're going to go out there. You're spending all of this time on something that you can duplicate with other people's effort. Well, what can't you duplicate with other people's effort? It's coming up with those 60 points. It's coming up with, all right, let me sit down, let me get quiet, and let me just think. Let me think through an ideal process. And then you build the process, right? And
Sure. Yeah.
And now it's got a multiplier effect, because now you're installing, I don't know, what are you doing now? 20, 30, 40 jobs a month, right? And so now that one bit of effort that you put in now is being multiplied every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, hundreds of times, just based on you sitting down, stopping the noise, stopping being reactive to everything that's going on, and just thinking and just saying, okay, what would this ideal process look like? And so that is, having processes are powerful for all of those reasons, but then are all of the reasons we said before, but also as the owner of your business, these are the things that you should be spending your time on. How is it that you went from $1 million to now you're going to do 5 million this year? Is you stopped selling, right? And you put on your owner's hat.
Working on the business.
Yeah, and you put on the owner's hat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No,
so,
I had the tool belt on, right? I did all of those 60 things.
Yeah.
Minus the coffee and donuts. That's something I added in.
Yeah.
But I did most of those things, right? So it was easy for me to sit down and write those processes out. And it's even like the pre-installation stuff, like something as simple as when you take the materials off the truck, right? You take the windows off the truck, you double check the sizes in the openings to make sure that you don't pull a window out that I may have mismeasured, right? Because I'm doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen, right? God forbid. And it's happened to me in the past, right?
Of course.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Pull the window out and it's, this thing doesn't fit. And I couldn't make it work. And the customer had a piece of plywood over their opening for months, right? But again, never made that mistake again, right? That's in my process, right? So I let the installers know these things are here for a reason. These things help eliminate mistakes, and they see the value in it. And tips, they get tipped. Customers buy them lunch.
Nice.
And they have a good relationship. The guys with myself and within the crews and stuff like that. So they're all in-house employees, no subcontractors.
That's beautiful. Good for you. So you have a lot of control.
Yep.
So you have big plans then for this year, huh?
We'll see.
You're gonna double the size of the company?
Yeah.
What was your thought process in coming up with that target?
Thought process as far as?
Well, you said in 2020 you did what, almost 3 million?
2.9.
Yeah. So now you're going to almost 5.
Well, projection, sure. Yeah.
How are you doing so far? We're talking almost at the end of Q1.
Yeah. So far, I think I'm close to $1 million. Yeah. Q1.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah. I think today
Q1 is generally a little slower. Q2 and Q3 are probably your big ones, right?
Q3 is the best quarter. Yeah. But Q2 is a good quarter. Third quarter, second quarter.
Yeah.
First quarter, and actually the fourth quarter is always the slowest. But today alone, I think I have over 150,000 in revenue today.
Wow.
Today's the end of a promotion, a 2-month promotion that we're running. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So is that your biggest day yet?
Yes. Every single day, every single month it's going like this and like this on the CRM. So when you see the sales revenue.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'll share it with you. I'll show you some screenshots.
Okay, nice.
You'll be blown away.
Yeah, I love it. Good for you. And so what would you, just to kind of wrap up here, so you've probably answered this question, at least business-wise. Let me ask you more personal. This might be a little bit tougher for you, but personally, if you could go back to yourself, say 10 years ago, and what advice would you give yourself personally? Maybe not necessarily, oh, do this different in the business or do that, but what would you tell yourself maybe about mindset?
Mindset. Wow. I hear you talk about it all the time. Mindset over skill set.
Yeah.
It's important. I don't know if it would be mindset. It is tough. I would have raised my prices 10 years ago, Brian.
Yeah.
That was my biggest problem. I just wasn't charging enough.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't know. It's not that I was scared to raise my prices. I just didn't know. It just took going to a couple of events and listening to other people. You know, when you're there, you're insulated, you're in your little bubble. You don't really get out. You don't get to talk to people. 2017, 18, I started to change that. Went to the first Accelerate, started to see what people were doing and said, okay, it looks like it's pretty easy. And that was it.
Well, what's interesting though, John, we talk about mindset. Well, raising prices is almost entirely mindset because most of us are afraid. Most business owners are afraid to raise prices. And so that falls into, I would say that falls into the mindset because you would have gone back and you would have said, hey, go raise your prices. You're going to be just fine. Don't worry, because, you're going to be just fine. The other thing, look, guys, I say it all the time. This is to the listener now. I say success leaves clues. I say it all the time. And if you listen through these podcasts, you're going to hear the same things by guys like John over and over and over and over again. Aside from all of the stuff that we just talked about, he just said something too that's critically important. You said that in 17 and 18, you're alone. You're kind of in a bubble, right? That's how we are. That's how we're built. As entrepreneurs, we're in our heads a lot. We're alone a lot. And then what'd you do? You started to venture out. You went to an event, it happened to be Accelerate, and you saw around you, hey, wait a minute. There's other people I can learn from. There's other people that are already doing the things that I want to do. And that helps, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess I made the decision to look outward. Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm a contractor, right? I started with a tool belt.
Yeah.
I sold some jobs just because I had to do that, right? Now I'm your typical story of a contractor, put the tool belt on, worked out of a van and grew a business, right? Now I'm operating a real business.
Yeah.
Like I said, I made a decision to charge what I'm worth.
Right.
Make some real money.
You're worth. Right.
Make a real business. Yeah. Make a real business out of it. Something that can support me and my family and my future. Yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing and being open about the numbers. And I didn't expect you to share numbers, but that's awesome. I mean, look, if you weren't to begin with, you will be within a couple of years. You'll be a millionaire from this business, and like legit, cash in the bank millionaire in just a couple of years. And that's all, look, I mean, it's all a decision. You made the decision when you were sitting in that room in February of 2019. Oh man, I got to do things a little bit different. Look what you've accomplished in such a quick amount of time. This year I talked about the power of commitment and then how the commitment, before commitment comes a decision, right? You have to make that decision to say, hey, yeah, I'm willing to go do the work and I'm willing to open my mind and do all the things that are necessary in order to make this happen. So that's awesome. Look at you.
You provided plenty of examples at the Accelerates, the $100 million roundtable, the speakers. All you have to do is look at them and just say, wow, this is possible. Look at this.
And look, between you and me, I only want to bring on people that when you look at them, you say, and no offense to any of them, but it's like, if they could do it, why can't I? Right?
They are pretty impressive.
Yeah, but I've known a lot of them when they weren't. Yeah, they were impressive. Yeah. They're impressive people as people, but as business people, they didn't all start out that way. And I've known a lot of those people when they weren't. And it's a beautiful thing to see when somebody comes into their own, like with you. I mean, I was just, again, I said it at the beginning of this, but John sent me an email with just like a progress report of, hey, I did this and I did this and I did this. And it came out of, I used the testimonial that you gave us, or a review that you gave us in something else. And you sent me this progress report. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So I really appreciate that. And I said to John, and just like I would say to all of you, had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with this guy implementing, taking that information, because I told him hundreds of people, thousands of people get the information, but only a small amount of them actually take it and go and implement. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Oh,
you deserve some credit in this. You really do.
Okay, tiny little bit.
A little bit.
A tiny little bit. So, all right. So, any parting words for the listener? This is your first time on the podcast. I'm going to have you back again after you hit your target, and I'm going to wait a year. I'm going to see where you're at. You're going to hit your goal. I'm almost sure of it. And then we'll talk about what you've learned. Going from 3 million to 5 million, because that's another. That's a big ceiling.
It's a pretty big ceiling.
Yeah, and by the way,
I need a few more salespersons and a few more installers.
Yeah, but isn't that what you're working on right now as the owner?
It's what I'm working on. Yeah.
You're not running leads, are you?
No, I stopped running leads 6 months after Accelerate 2019. Yeah.
You can't be a full-time salesperson in this business and a full-time business owner. You can't be a part-time either, part-time salesperson and a part-time business owner. Just doesn't work.
The only thing I do now is I monitor the leads. I have a Monday meeting with my marketing manager for about an hour. So I look at what we're doing there. I look at what our lead costs are. I look at all of that, lead acquisition cost. I do a Wednesday morning sales meeting with my sales reps, and I do a Tuesday evening meeting with my call center. And other than that, I just kind of, I monitor stuff from my phone, my CRM. I look at the revenue. I answer phone calls. But other than that, I'm working on the business, not so much in the business anymore. Yeah.
Beautiful. Good for you. Yeah. Awesome. Well, John, thank you. I appreciate you being here and sharing and being open about your journey to becoming a wealthy contractor. I love it. Congratulations again. And to everybody listening, I think John would back me up in saying, if he can do it, why can't you, right?
Sure.
All right. So with that, this is Brian Kaskavalsian, G4 Marketing Group. This is the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. And until next time. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. Let me ask you, did it help you look at your business in a different way? Did it spark an idea or ideas that you hadn't thought of before? Do you have a list of action items that you can take and implement into your business or your life today? I really hope so. If it did, I'd like to ask you a favor. Would you leave a 5-star review of the podcast? By doing so, you'll help other contractors find the podcast more easily so that we can help them achieve more success, wealth, and freedom. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to the Wealthy Contractor Podcast so you get access to the latest episodes as soon as they're available. We're always striving to provide you with great content so you don't want to miss what's coming up. In fact, if you haven't already, make sure you go to thewealthycontractor.com and get your free copy of my latest book, The 7 Secrets to Becoming a Wealthy Contractor. Just pay shipping and handling, and I'll take care of the cost of the book. And finally, a big thanks to G4 Marketing for sponsoring the Wealthy Contractor Podcast. For over 12 years now, G4 Marketing has been the secret back office relationship marketing team for hundreds of home improvement and home service businesses just like yours. You get the customer, and our proven system turns that customer into 5-star reviews and profitable repeat and referral business. If your home improvement or home services company completes at least 10 jobs per month, they have a solution that will work for you. To find out more, sign up for your free, no obligation, 10-minute discovery call at www.g4marketing.com/strategy. That's GFOUR marketing.com/strategy. Set your discovery call up today, and they'll help you set your business up for long-term profits and success. So until next time, this is Brian Kaskavalsian.